And there she is. Okay. All right. I'm going to undo this.
Do we need to do jumping jacks first so we can like have energy?
Jumping jack flash.
I'll get energy so I can put it on you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're going to start off with setting the stage of the summer of 1986.
So
You can say that.
yeah. Oh, you want me to say that? So yeah, the summer of 1986.
Or maybe I should, and then you go on, because then my voice it'll be. I don't know. Go on.
So
Sorry.
complicated. So complicated.
Okay. Let's set the stage for the summer of 1986.
Okay. Yeah, the summer of 1986. So I was like a big MTV head, along with the entire nation.
But I was too.
You're part of the entire nation, probably.
I was.
Yeah. I'm as my guess. Yeah. So right. So yeah, everyone loved MTV. It was so new and so amazing to watch all the rock stars and what they did in the interviews and the new songs. And at the time it was like, Motley Crue was huge.
Cinderella.
Oh yeah.
Bon
Cinderella.
Jovi.
Oh yeah, Rat.
Poison.
Poison, right. Yeah. All that kind of stuff was just really hitting hard.
All those big hair bands. All the bands that had their hair about 6 inches up.
She almost said 6 feet. I heard her.
Some of them were close.
But true, yeah. So yeah, it was the hair was definitely, it wasn't hanging in the face. It was straight up, and sometimes in the face. Later, kind of started hanging.
Falling,
in the face. Yeah.
After it became 6 feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right, exactly. So yeah, a lot of Aquanet, super extra hold. That's the white and pink can. If you guys want to do your
how
history.
do you know that, Shane?
Someone told me once.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I've never actually used that product.
Oh, you have to. You've had many bottles of this.
I've never had the giant extended, super giant can. So no, I have no idea what that is, or the eyeliner, or the
eyeliner.
I barely would use like a little bit of rouge and maybe a little lipstick.
How old are you, rouge?
I'm pretty old. I don't want to talk about that.
My grandmother used to call it rouge.
I think that's where I learned that's what it was called, was from my grandma. Yeah.
They call it nowadays like blush.
Blush, huh? Okay.
Rouge. Okay, maybe they call it rouge somewhere. I thought
my
grandmother called it rouge, and I've never heard anybody else say that.
What about like Moulin Rouge?
I can't. Okay.
What's that? Is that what they're talking about?
Moulin Rouge is like a club in France. I think it's France, or is it England? That have all the dancers. That's not like a thing you put on your face.
No, I thought you put dancers on your face. Am I wrong with this?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Did I turn that all around? I fed you that.
Wow,
came back around.
I didn't see it coming because I just didn't go there.
When they're on your face, you can sometimes see it coming, sometimes not.
Oh my gosh! All I could think was my grandmother. You just took me somewhere.
Wait a minute.
Because
how can I be talking about dancers and you're talking about grandma?
Because the word rouge. My Italian grandmother used to.
Jeez. See, I'm trying to make this thing kind of go a certain way with
goodness.
MTV, video vixen and all that.
We went totally off. Okay, we didn't set the stage very well, did we?
Well, I was trying to do what I could there. I don't know. You were somehow talking about grandmas. I don't really understand how grandmas have anything to do with what the summer of '86.
Oh my goodness. Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
All right. We're going to try to start this over, folks. So the summer of '86, right? We're talking about MTV. We're talking about Motley Crue and
hair metal. I'm still can't get over my grandmother and Moulin Rouge. Wait. It's okay. I got to get it together.
Oh my Lord.
Okay.
So the summer of '86, right? So stuff like Motley Crue and Poison
and over-the-top stage performances, spandex, studs, chains, leather jackets,
bandanas.
Yeah, guys that dressed up like girls. They wore lipstick and just like they were trying to be pretty, I guess. And girls liked it. Girls liked that at that time.
Guy, here's the deal with a guy, you'll do whatever a girl likes. You'll pretty much do it. So it's not that the guys wanted to dress up like that. It's just like the girls wanted them to.
Yeah, we liked it.
Yeah. There was something where it's just like, and I just know for a fact that even from the time I started doing that, which was probably about when I was 16, I was into like leather and studs. But by the time I was 18, it was all lace and feminine stuff like that.
Yeah, he was wearing his mom's lingerie, and then I find out later his mom didn't wear lingerie. So I said, "Hey."
My mom just for some reason would say that because she thought it was funny, but
Yeah, I'm like, "Hey, then how'd you get this lingerie, Shane? How did you get that lingerie?"
I purchased that lingerie.
So you went into the lingerie women's store and said, "Can I try this on?" Back in the 80s.
Yeah, and since it was the 80s, guess what? The female sales representatives loved it.
They did?
They freaking loved it. They were like, "Oh my God, I don't think you can use the dressing room. I don't think that's allowed." It's like, okay, I'll put it on right here and make sure it fits.
No.
Yeah, they love that stuff.
Wow. Nowadays, I think because we live in LA, is kind of just mainstream.
Well, I mean, when we finally got out here, like all the things we used to shock people with in the Midwest. I mean, out here it was just like
not shocking.
People didn't even pay attention. They didn't even notice it. So that was.
Yeah, there was a whole street. Santa Monica Boulevard was filled with clothes that were women's clothes, but bigger sizes for men.
Yeah.
We got some white boots, women's white boots at the men's store on Santa Monica Boulevard. Okay, we are so off.
I'm not even sure what store that was, about a men's store or women's store. I don't think that even existed.
Oh.
It was just at the boot store.
But they were just...
Or the shoe store, whatever. Yeah.
Women's clothes in very large sizes.
So yeah, we are all over the place, but it could be kind of interesting.
But you know what? It is the times, our times, what our world was then. Now, he was in a touring rock band with all that stuff going on. I was in a ballet company. It seems like the complete opposite.
It seems like it, but as we found out, there's a lot more in common than we initially thought. But first time I saw her especially, I thought, wow, I have nothing in common with her.
You thought I was a stuck-up bitch.
Sorta, yeah.
Because the way I held myself.
Use the words of that nature, but she seemed pretty uptight.
Oh, uptight.
Yeah, uptight and white.
Ooh.
Uptight and white, uptight. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was true.
Yeah. So I was in a ballet company, which in a ballet company it takes a lot of your time, your dedication, my whole life was how I was going to dance the next day, what I ate, how I slept, how I felt, how my body moved. Everything was surrounded the whole day about how I was going to be the next day. I'd stretch 30 minutes before my classes. I stretched 30 minutes after classes. We had rehearsals. We had point work. We had performances.
I mean, that ballet stuff, I mean, I got to see it. It was so hard. It was like, like with the music, I would rehearse, and then rehearse for hours and hours. They say like a musician that makes his living doing that has rehearsed for 10,000 hours. It seems like with the ballet, you never stop.
Never.
No matter how good you are. And she was like 13 years in, you still have hours and hours of rehearsals every day. And that was only part of it. She was also going to college.
Oh yeah, I was in nursing school at a private Catholic college. And so that's very strict and very time consuming too. So I had very, very little personal time, but the little time I did have, I loved to go see live music.
Yeah, she did. And apparently somebody, she had a friend at the one club that I played at, and he called her up and said that she should come and check us out, that she might like somebody in the band.
Yeah, he was like, and he never had called me up, so I thought it was important to go check it out. He's like, you need to go see this band. They played Pink Floyd, and I think you might like the guitar player because you should hear him play the solo on, the song. What was it? Comfortably Numb.
We played a few Pink Floyd songs, but that
you did? Okay.
that was the crowd pleaser there.
Okay.
Yeah. Comfortably Numb. People love that.
Yeah.
One. Yeah.
So I was like, wow, he called me up. This must be special. So I came out, and he used to save me a place and kind of take care of me because I'd go by myself to this rock club. It was kind of like a sleazy rock bar, and I sat there and watched. And back in the day, back in this 80s, in this club, they played all week, the band, 3 sets a night. And so it took me about 3 nights in or so to get enough nerve just to walk up to Shane.
Yeah, that place, we actually played 6 nights a week, 3 sets a night. Mm-hmm. And I think we started talking, started playing on Tuesday, and we didn't talk till Thursday.
Yeah.
But I saw her there. I saw that pretty blonde haired girl. And truthfully, you know how you see someone that looks a little bit out of your. She looked like some rich chick. To be honest, she looked like some kind of like. And I just been touring in Texas, and I saw people like that on the outskirts that was like a little too good for me or whatever. And so I was being from the west side of Columbus, Ohio. I was just thinking, wow, she sure is pretty, but I bet we have nothing in common.
Well, I mean, I did not fit in. Everybody there, I always wanted to fit in the rock world because it seemed fun and everything, but here everybody was in those leather, like all those outfits and their hair, and I had long, straight, blonde hair, not teased up. So I probably wore it in a bun, knowing me. Probably came after ballet. I had it in a bun, and then would have white. I never owned anything black. So here I had a little white sundress with white heels. I mean, I did in a rock club. I looked like a glow stick.
Yeah, it kind of did. You kind of like it looked like there was like a spotlight on you
right
over there. And I don't know. I don't think Dennis ever said anything. I think eventually you finally came up.
I did.
Up to me.
I walked up to you and I didn't know what I was going to say. I just walked up to you and I was like, "Hi," and you were like, "Hi. Do you want to come back to my hotel room?" Like nothing else. Like, "Hi, do you want to come back to my hotel room?" Which I thought that meant there must be a party. Because he looked like some wild guy that does drugs and drinks and...
Apparently she liked that kind of thing. Her ex...
bad boy.
Her boyfriend was that style. Her ex-boyfriend, her last boyfriend, and her first boyfriend was that way. They're all the same person.
Yeah. So I thought, oh, he looks like a bad boy, and he's having a party at his hotel room, and little innocent me was like, okay. And so then we go to the bar because he's like, I want to get a drink, and he goes and just orders a Coca-Cola, and I was like, okay. Usually they get, the bands back then probably got free alcohol.
Yeah, we did.
And so he's just ordering a Coca-Cola. I thought,
we had free Coca-Colas too.
Yeah, well, that's still different for back then. Everybody drank it in shots, and it was like, that club was 19-cent beers and 86-cent mixed drinks.
Well, that summer it was, and the next summer it'd be 19-cent beers and 87-cent mixed drinks.
Right.
Yeah. Well, liquor, of course. No top shelf stuff going on there, but man, you could get loaded for cheap.
Right. And you got free drinks, so he's ordering a Coke, so that was super innocent for me. And then we go back, his hotel's like next door across the street, and we go back to the hotel, and there was this line of girls around the corner. And we walked into his hotel.
This line gets bigger and bigger every time she tells this story. I mean, I think there might have been a couple girls hanging out.
There was more than 4.
Okay. Well, sometimes we would have like sort of after party get-togethers. Not in my room, but we multiple band members, and we had our own truck, and we had our own PA. We had our own road crew. So I mean, we traveled pretty deep. There was a lot of people on the road, and so we each had, I think we split hotel rooms. So between us all, we had 4 or 5 different hotel rooms. So we designate one of them as being the actual one that would have the party in it, because there would be parties, and it was usually the road crews.
There was no party.
That's because you were hanging out with me.
Well, I don't.
There probably was a party, but
you didn't go to it.
No, that wasn't my thing. No, I didn't do that. I was like, I was very serious about my music.
We opened up the hotel room and nothing was there. And I'm like, where's the party? And he's like, I just was hot and I wanted to take a shower. I said, okay, what about those girls out there then? He's like, well, I don't know. I mean, the one girl, she gave me a blank yesterday.
I didn't get into it that quick. I tried to, it's just like, look, it's like, I don't know.
The other girl I did a bloop bloop with, and I'm like, oh. And so I thought that was very interesting. Some of those girls had cookies and casseroles to bring to him.
I did not invite those girls.
Doesn't matter. There was this, but what I liked about...
I invited you. Well, I did not invite them, and I just walked past them. I felt a little like, because I knew who they were. I'd seen them before.
I know. Well, I don't know this. I'm just innocently going to a party that there was
They may
no
or
party.
may not have been naked the last time I saw them. I'm not going to say that. But I did not invite them to a different city.
Oh, they're from out of town. No, the one girl was the bartender from the Toy Tiger.
No, I don't know if I agree with that. I may or may not have met her before I met you, but again, I did not invite anyone over to the hotel room, and I was just talking. I wasn't like trying to say anything or another. I had a plan. I was leaving the club. By the way, when you leave the club in Louisville, Kentucky, which was different than any place in the country I played at that point, and I played a lot of different places, and I've been to New York. I've been to all the way down in Tampa to Miami. I've been to a lot of places, San Francisco, all over the place, and they were open till 4 o'clock. I mean, parts of New York were like never closed, but I didn't play there. So it was the latest place. I don't even know if we started playing until like 11 or 12 o'clock at night.
And then you gotta, if you hadn't finished your drink, they would give you a to-go cup, so you could take it in your car and drive home.
Oh my God!
That's how I grew up. So when this whole drinking driving thing comes along, I'm just like, what?
I'm telling you, Kentucky had their own set of rules. It was like, if they actually, I don't even think they thought they were partying that hard. They were just having a drink on the way home or something. But she's telling the truth. They go, hey, do you want one for the road? It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, what is he talking about? And someone else would be like, yeah, I'll take one for the matter of fact, give me 2. And he's like, oh, okay. And he pours him 2 mixed drinks in those big giant red Solo cups. And he walks directly past the security, right out the door into his car, sticks them in his dash, and drives home. And I was just like, well, what is going on here? And that was their standard thing.
That's how I used to get into the club, because when I met Shane, I was 21, but I had been going to the Toy Tiger for a couple years. So my trick was, God, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this. So I'd have a friend that was older, that drug dealer guy that I went out with. He would go in, get a drink, get the to-go cup, bring it out to the car, lick his hand because he got a stamp, and then while it was wet, he would put it on my hand, right? Yeah. And then I would carry the to-go cup back in, so it looked like I had a drink.
So she had like a stamp and a drink.
Right.
So they're like,
they're not going to card me.
Yeah.
That was one of the things.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And then I ended up getting a fake ID, a real one, which is a felony. Yeah. And so those are my
I think you're in the clear, honey.
I hope I'm in the clear, because I don't want someone to come back and arrest me for these bad things. So
that's something, I don't know if we discussed that. When we met, I was 19.
I was 21.
And I'd been playing in bars since I was 14. And I started playing guitar when I was 16. And so there's bars I was in for 5 years before I still at this point wasn't old enough to be in the bar.
Yeah, I remember that. You weren't old. Maybe that's why you got the Coke. I don't know. I actually
never even thought about it, because they never carded me. They didn't know my age. They would have gave me whatever I wanted.
You didn't drink that much. This is a couple of things I really liked about Shane, that he got a Coke. I thought that was really cool, because I was used to this drug addict guy, as my first boyfriend. So he got a Coke, and I thought that was sweet. And then with all those girls that he told me he did all those things with, I thought that him being honest was also this good quality. I was like, wow, I like that he told me all the things that he did, and so those were the qualities I liked in you instantly, because that was the first hour that I knew you.
Yeah, well, that's true. That was a pretty crazy hour. I guess like most girls probably would never hang with somebody that would, like most of the guys I knew, the guys in the band or the guys in other bands, or I guess everybody I knew was in a band, but they would kind of not really tell the truth. They would just always like, oh, no, I don't know that person. And I'm thinking, I know these people. I know who they are, and so they would, and they're like, no, I would never do that. And they were just always...
Or they try to avoid that girl. They're like, oh, I've been with that girl. And they dash off.
They'd be running, and I would say hello and everything, and I mean, if I had invited someone from another city or another evening or whatever, I probably would have handled things differently. I would have felt weird, but at that point, Maria was my absolute priority. And
all I said was hi.
Yeah, we were just hanging out, and the fact that I wasn't going to probably talk to her, because I kind of thought she was out of my league. So she, by the fact that she actually walked up and said hello, I was like, oh, cool. But I was already on a mission. I needed to go take my after gig shower and go. I was pretty lame, I guess, as far as partying goes. That wasn't really my thing. I wasn't into it. I just thought that, it was gonna, so many people I saw do that and just ended up, in bad spots. And
So you were a serious musician, and so you were
I still am.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I went through a period where I was
right.
a little screwed up, but, hopefully we'll be talking on this podcast and long enough we'll talk about all that stuff too. But I'm back to that back the way I was whenever we first met. I'm not into partying and stuff like that, and I don't have any problems with people that do. Personally, that's just not my bag. It's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
So after we met, we she invited me to her house, which is I played the town a few times. I think the way it went, I'm not really positive. We're not going to be directly, we're not going to be tested on this and check to see if our facts are exactly correct, but they're pretty close. I was first time I went to her house, which was actually her father's house. She invited me back there. I think she thought, well, it's pretty safe here. He usually goes to the boat or something.
Well, I knew he was spending the night on our boat. We had a boat, which, by the way, was docked in the same marina as the owners of the Toy Tiger, which my parents always hated that I liked to go to the Toy Tiger.
So they probably knew those people.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They even knew the guy at the Toy Tiger that did the hot legs and the wet t-shirt and the banana eating contest.
Oh, yeah.
Jack.
Jack, yeah. That was on the other side. That wasn't on the band side. The Toy Tiger actually had three clubs in one. It had like a
disco,
a game area, a disco, and then it had a rock and roll bar.
It was huge.
It was giant. Yeah.
It was a cool club. So I thought, my dad's going to be on the boat, spending the night on the boat. And my sister was supposed to have a yard sale the next day. But my sister does not wake up early. And what is that noise? Oh.
It's something that we're not doing.
Oh, I thought something was blowing up. Okay.
This stuff will never blow up.
Oh. Yeah. So, I was going to say.
So we're all over the place.
I know.
You want to start over?
Not really. We could start over to a certain point. I think it's good. We could start.
I think it's good.
Yeah,
it's all good. I think there's just some stuff that's like all over the place.
Yeah, but still, I think it's okay because we were still talking about the era. Did we miss anything on the era? We could bring it in. We did talk about the hair, and I talked about ballet a little, but I didn't do very well on talking about the ballet.
Well, you never did talk about school either.
I didn't talk about school, but I did say nursing school. Maybe we'll bring that
up
again because I was gonna say. Here's what I was going to say next, but then we went on, is I wanted to say the little bit of time I did have was at night. That was the only time I had.
Yeah.
So then I'd have to be at school and get up at 6 in the morning, so my time was this real late hour, so I barely slept. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I could talk about school. But
right.
I have to be at school at like 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever.
Right. Well, you could talk about what you had to do the next morning, but we're still talking about the meeting your dad.
Yeah. And then you talked about the banana eating, but...
No, we can get back to that.
Okay.
I mean...
Okay.
You did bring up Jack,
Yeah.
I guess we could have talked about that. Doesn't matter, I guess, what order we talk about it. It's all good shit.
Because you can put it in.
I can mix the order. Mm-hmm. That's true.
This is just kind of an experiment. This is 22. It might still fit on,
Yeah. I think we're replacing the whole first episode.
Okay.
Or I can take pieces of it and actually add it.
We'll start it... leaving the club, and I'll just say that, well, I don't know. Leaving the club about the yard sale and my dad, and this was the only time I had time to be able to meet you because I was at school all day, ballet was after, and then sometimes I didn't get there until like 10:30, 11, because of ballet and rehearsal.
That's what I was saying, is sometimes we didn't even start till 11 or 12 anyways. It didn't even matter. You just missed... You didn't miss anything.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Or maybe we had like a pretty big...
You might have to edit this too.
Oh, yeah. That's still rolling, isn't it?
Well, no. Are we going to start?
Well, should I just do this?